Hola, this is Guy Pancho with the Weekly Pele Report. By God, it's February 13th of 2019, and the moon has just gone into Gemini. It's about 2 degrees right now, and, you know, I'm out here. I think I beat the cicadas. They usually start around 8 o'clock when the sun gets warm enough, so I'm gonna just try to get this sucker done. Anyway, today, like right now, Mars is conjunct Uranus. Yeah, it's actually exact tomorrow, but it's there, and you may be feeling it. I'll be talking about it. You know, that moon is square Neptune and opposite Jupiter, trining the sun today, up there in late Aquarius later on. Oh, that's tomorrow, sorry. Anyway, the big thing is the sun is going into Pisces. Oh, yeah. All right, and that is happening on Monday. Monday is a huge day. This is a very powerful weekend, actually, because Venus, even though it's kind of there now, it's going to be exactly conjunct Saturn on Monday. And at the same time, Mercury, okay, is approaching Neptune. So we are going to have a Mercury conjunct Neptune. When? On Monday. And Chiron, you know, I've been talking about Chiron there, you know, the last degree of Pisces. On Monday, Chiron goes into Aries. So this is all happening, you know, just before that full moon. You see the river down there? It's all happening just before that full moon. That full moon is at 0 degrees, 42 minutes of Virgo. Just after that sun goes into Pisces, we got a full moon on the Pisces-Virgo axis. So last but not least, what I probably want to talk about today is that black moon Lilith is also exactly conjunct the sun on Sunday. I use the true black moon Lilith, so just in case I've had some people that want to discuss that. So you got it. Okay, today the moon is in Gemini. Friday she goes into Cancer. Sunday goes into Leo. Bopping around with all those aspects. I mean, the big one with the moon is on Saturday, actually, because the moon, okay, comes into an opposition with Venus, Saturn, and Pluto, which are all coming together here, you know. I mean, after Venus conjuncts with Saturn, she's going to move ahead and hit Pluto next Saturday, a week from Saturday. So this is a pretty powerful time, and I'm just, I don't know, I'll find a place here by the river and sit down and talk about it. Okay, I'm going to give this a shot. It's a big week. It's, you know, 3 conjunctions: Venus, Saturn, Mars, Uranus, Mercury, Neptune. Wow. You know, conjunctions are coming together. You know, and Venus approaching Saturn is letting go, okay, of the last year's cycle. Mercury approaching Neptune is letting go, okay, and Mars, you know, hit Uranus, so you know, so this is like end begin, end begin, end of an old way, of old thoughts, of old relationships, of old ideas, of old beliefs, and into the new. And into the new, at the conjunction point, at the beginning, there is this kind of like, what's going on? You know, it's like it's all new. You know, it can be, you know, trigger some insecurities here, like, you know, I let go of the old, trapeze, you know, but I haven't quite grabbed the new trapeze. You know, I let go of the old job, I don't have a new job. I let go of the old relationship, I don't have a new relationship. There's this kind of in-between point. I think I even mentioned it last time, right? You know, that space between the impulse and the action. So it's like really liberating and freeing in one way, but it's, you know, it can be freaky and scary and, you know, bring up a lot of stuff in another way. So what's it bringing up? Well, let's say, you know, we had the new moon in Aquarius. Okay, and Aquarius is about stepping outside of the conventions of the norm, of the usual, to raise the bar, see the whole picture. Okay, it is having the vision. Now that sun's moving into Pisces. And it kind of goes from, I look at Uranus, you know, and Aquarius as, you know, more 6th chakra. And Pisces is taking it, you know, okay, I see, I know, I've got the vision. It's like my third eye's open. And what now? Pisces to me is love, heart, union, spirit, oneness. So we're doing this switch of, you know, can I move my, you know, my knowledge, my knowing into love, into union, or is it going to serve to separate me and isolate me even more? So, you know, Pisces has to do it in a way sacrificing the ego or the self, you know, and really being more of a medium or a channel. Yeah, for spirit, for the divine. So what have we got there? Mercury coming around to Neptune. Oh my God. Mercury, left brain thinking. Okay, like the ego monkey mind. Stops in and checks in with Neptune. Woo! Neptune in Pisces. All there is. No boundaries, no laws, no rules. It's beautiful. It's unity, spiritual consciousness. It's mysticism and oneness. So it's like this is a time of dreams. And it can also be a time of, you know, depression. Like this earthly physical world is so limited and bounded. I want to get out. I want to escape. I want to imagine. You know, John Lennon had Mercury conjunct Neptune. And he wrote, imagine, imagine. You know, and when you read the headlines and stuff like that, you have to imagine. Because like, boom, the karma's hitting the fan, man. South Node, Saturn, Pluto, all of 2019, it's karma cleanse. Karma cleanse, karma cleanse. You know, the old patriarchy, the old hierarchy, the old, you know, definitions of masculine and feminine and morals and ethics that I talk about a little bit in the mantra today, you know. I mean, this is all, we're all, you know, we're evolving, right? You know, new definitions as the consciousness expands. So this Mercury-Neptune can, you know, it can either take us out or we can bring it in. You know, it's like, but it's like this portal's open. It's like the door is open. Which way do you want to go? I mean, we're still here in the body, man. So I think it's better to bring it in rather than check out. Mars conjunct Uranus. I mean, like, you know, today, you know, I mean, now. Okay, Mars, yang, masculine, penetrate, act, I'm gonna do it. Uranus, open my third eye, liberate, become illuminated, actively seeking, wanting, desiring, illumination. I mean, these are some tall orders, right? You know, it's like the bar is pretty freaking high these days. Sun going into Pisces, Mercury, Neptune, Mars, Uranus. You know, we're having all the personal planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, hit, okay, the transpersonal or trans-Neptunian planets, you know, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. You know, after Venus is done with Saturn, she's going to, you know, bump into Pluto. I mean, it's just like, whoa, will the fun never stop? I don't know. It's not being so fun for me because what? You know, I mean, this is the challenge. This is the challenge. This full moon, Virgo Pisces, you could call it the perfection axis. Okay, Pisces is the ideal, the spiritual, you know, woo! Open-hearted, one with all that is. In la kesh a la kin. I am another you. And Virgo is grounded, make it real, get your act together, live it and walk it, or, you know, face, you know, self-criticism, shame, or guilt, or whatever, you know, because, you know, you're not perfect. I'm feeling very imperfect these days. Remember, this is a Pele report. I'm just a reporter. Astrology gives us this view. So I'm just throwing out some ideas here to contemplate, see if it resonates or not. I feel like this is one of the heaviest mantras I ever wrote. It's like, whoa, it's got all the weighted words, and this is like what we're dealing with. You know, the big mantra for this year, you know, is deciphering what is true and making it you. So there's a lot of false prophets, there's a lot of false teachings, there's a lot of, you know, just bullshit going on. And Venus, Saturn, Pluto is bringing it up, it's bringing it out. Okay, this whole Me Too thing, I'm down here in Costa Rica, this ex-Nobel Prize winning, you know, president is now, you know, being, you know, put on the stand, you know, with the Me Too women that he, you know, abused. And it brings up an interesting point that I want to bring in, that this is, you know, men and women, masculine and feminine thing going on, you know, with all of this. Because in the article, you know, in the paper, you know, the woman said, you know, he was the president at the time, and she wanted to get his signature on, you know, something that she was doing. And she said, well, yeah, you know, I mean, I did go along with him. I mean, it was like I was afraid that he wouldn't sign the thing that I was doing. Right? You know? It's kind of an interesting dynamic. We have this black moon Lilith conjunct the sun right now. And she's, you know, going back and forth all through Aquarius and Pisces, you know, this year. And she's going to be hitting the sun now here for a little bit. And she's really calling us up and calling us out. And this is the Kali energy. But she's also this kundalini force and this sexual force that can be abused or misused by men and or women. You know, it's not like, one sex has a particular corner on morality, you know. In fact, I was also reading this article just the other day. In fact, I could post it on Facebook, you know. The new deception, the sexy, spiritual, successful goddess. You know? And how we've also got, okay, you know, Lilith can also be kind of creeping in here as a force of seduction. Okay? And this is, you know, Lilith is the co-ruler for me of Scorpio, along with Pluto and Mars. And, you know, this is about power. And us wanting power. You know, and Pluto, Saturn, Venus. Venus is also money, right? You know, and this, you know, coming into Capricorn is authority and power and influence. So there is this drive now, and of course Kundalini is a very powerful force. And it's coming up within each and every one of us. It's like, you know what, man, it's time for a little more power over and a little more control over my destiny, over my relationships, over my, you know, finances and things like that. It's just like, you know, so there's kind of this power grab going on, you know, with all of this stuff. And of course, this reaching for more and more power brings up, okay, all of the shadow. So we all get to look at our shadow, and all I can say is the ego works in mysterious ways. And that's where it comes back to this deciphering the truth. And we can justify ourselves or tell ourselves stories, you know, when the ego's just grabbing for more power, right, you know, and we can, you know, just mush up and mingle up and, you know, transfer and change around, you know, so many of, you know, our stories to justify our actions and behaviors. Only now, Saturn South Node Pluto is going to frickin' call us on our BS, right? And that, you know, and that's what, you know, today's mantra is about. I mean, I could go on and on and on about this stuff, you know? I mean, it's just like, wow. This reflection is bringing, like I say, it's maturity, it's the elder, and it is, you know, really coming into an objective view of where I have been and setting new goals as to where I want to go, or what, you know, what my character is. This is just who I want to be in the world, and I'm going to stand in that, come criticism, success, you know, good reputation or not. This north node of the moon is down there in Cancer, calling us home, calling us into the feeling, the waters. So this week is just a, you know, a time, and this full moon, I mean, it's not coming around until Tuesday, but it is really a time of waking up to our patterns, and those patterns go way back into childhood. They go way back into past lifetimes, and so much of what we can be doing is seeking what? You know, Mars in the masculine, right, is about freedom, and, you know, Venus in the feminine is about connection, and we can be using, you know, our bodies, using our minds, using our influence, using our position, okay, to obtain either more freedom, to, you know, like a license, you know, strictly for self, or with the feminine, this connection that's going to get me more power, prestige, and I'll use, you know, whatever I've got in order to connect with something bigger, higher, wider, broader, greater than myself. So, you know, I mean, it's like looking at these words, you know, let me just get into the mantra now, right? Where there is a lack, what? Sorry, man. I don't want to get it wrong. It has to be perfect. Where there's a lack of depth and intimacy, ethics, morals, and honesty, I know that it begins with me standing in truth with integrity. I mean, it's like coming home to Cancer. This is an excellent week, an excellent time for reviewing where I have been. And I want to bring in this Venus-Mars connection with sexuality, with profane sexuality and sacred sexuality. And it was so great, you know, looking at this, I Googled sacred and profane and integrity and morality, and, you know, and you get these definitions, and it's like they're just so outdated. They're old because they've got so much to do. They've even brought up, you know, biblical references, okay, you know, and God, okay, you know, and all these, you know, kind of, you know, religious, you know, ways and beings, and the secular and all this and that. And it's just like, we're really, I feel like humanity is struggling to redefine, you know, what is sacred. And, you know, and I'm going to look at Pisces as being sacred. I'm going to look at Pisces as being the spiritual unity and oneness. And it's just about, I'm doing this course with my wife on, you know, sweet love. It's a kundalini approach. I could put a link for that somewhere too with Jaidev and Simrit. Awesome. Kundalini yogi and yogini. Teaching about love. And the old yogic wisdom teachings having to do with this, you know, with this whole relationship and this whole sacred union and sexuality. And it says that, you know, before penetration, first of all, you know, the male is, you know, giving the seed, right? You know, and the seed, obviously this is all about having babies, first of all. And it is the most, you know, intense, pleasurable physical experience that we can have with these bodies. So it's like, you know, it gives us, it's rejuvenating, it's fulfilling, it's, you know, sharing, it's connecting, and there can be depth and intimacy in this union, and it can be sacred sexuality, or, you know, it can be used, and we can use our bodies as tools, as instruments, you know, for ego gratification. This is this profane, the physical act without the depth, without the intimacy. Taurus without Scorpio, right? You know, it's just like this is this polarity of earth and water, and Scorpio, Pluto, soul union and humbling alchemical change through that union. Or, right, you know, the other aspect is, no, I'm not changing, I'm just having a good time, I'm having casual sex. But the thing with the Kundalini says, you know what? There's no such thing as casual sex. Because when you're merging your sexual fluids, you're merging karma. You're merging deep soul information, okay, from lifetimes, and it's not casual. Especially when Venus is conjunct Saturn and Pluto. So this is a time to really look at how we are making love, why we are making love, who we're making love with, you know, what this love, you know, love, sex is all about. You know, these are the issues really coming up here. And in this course, we're talking about, you know, is at least for men and women. I mean, we can, same sex, you know, there's still this Mars-Venus masculine feminine dynamic going on. But when we're talking about men and women, we're talking about penetration. And penetration or intercourse, they're talking about, you know what? First of all, you know, the man, okay, wants to only penetrate the woman when her aura is 9 feet expanded out of our, you know, her physical body by 9 feet, 3 meters, okay, you know, and it's like, you know what, our aura is usually, you know, I mean, for so many, you know, people, our aura is like, it's pretty close, and what we have to do is like energize, relax, open, invite in spirit, light, and just, you know, expand and expand and expand, and then when that union occurs through these expanded, you know, auras, this is depth, man. This is intimacy. This is like real spiritual Pisces union. And so this, you know, this Mercury Neptune can go for it. And I had the image of basketball. You know, it's like, you know, it's like shooting baskets. You know, sex can be like the basket, you know, and you can hit the basket. You know, you can, but you can practice and practice and practice and practice. But the idea is to get it in the hoop. Do you have this ultimate orgasm experience where you are connected with your partner? Maybe it's simultaneous orgasm, and you are doing a true spiritual union with all 7 chakras, not just this profane physical union of the first and the second chakras. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's the basket. You know, the basket, you know, is like, boom, the ultimate union of 2 soul, physical, spiritual beings. And that brings in the sacred, that brings in source, creator, whatever you want to call it. This is where it like really happens. Where it doesn't happen is when the female's aura is not expanded. and she's not open, and she's not all really there. Yeah? And it doesn't, boom, boom, boom. And it doesn't happen with masturbation, because there's not this union. So it's like, you know, this is just like, you know, spilling the seed. It's like, yeah, you know, it feels good and everything or whatever. You know, for the woman, it can be, you know, it's pleasurable, but it's different. Yeah? Taurus has to do with masturbation and self-pleasure. Scorpio, I'm talking about Pluto, Venus, Saturn here. Okay? And Mars, Uranus reaching for this highest experience, and now it's in Taurus. You know, Mars is really going for it. Venus is really going for it. All the planets are really going for it. They are reflections of us, right? That's what astrology is, as above, so below. It says that on so many levels and ways, it's time for us as human beings to like really go for it. Oh man, enough chatter for today. Just a few things to think about, and you know, if it resonates, fine, and if it doesn't, you know, that's fine too. I hesitate to talk about some of this stuff because there is so much, you know, judgment. There is so much, you know, false, you know, BS, you know, around anyway, and then it's like, you know, who's he to say, or this, that, or the other, and you know, who's got the claim, you know, to truth or whatever. This is this whole thing of Jupiter and Sagittarius. Jupiter is in Sagittarius until like December. So we are expanding our understanding of natural law, of what is honest, what is true, and am I really, you know, walking the talk? That's the, you know, and of course we're all just doing the best we can and striving to overcome, you know, our wounds and our childhood stuff and our past life stuff. We're all wounded. I mean, we're so, you know, it's like, yeah, we're hobbling down the basketball court trying to get the freaking basket, baby. So take it easy on yourself. You want to chill out with this, because it can be very easy at this particular time to get overly down on yourself, on your partner, on your life, on freaking anything, you know, because it's not in this ideal state. So, you know, it's just, we're in the Cuisinart, man. The processor. It's just all about processing some of that stuff, making ourselves a good, healthy, green smoothie. Oh my God. Ow! When there's a lack of depth and intimacy, ow! Ethics, morals, and honesty, I know that it begins with me, standing in truth with integrity. May you stand in your truth, in integrity, to the best that you can. Inch by inch, baby steps to the kitchen. We can all do this. And we can all give each other a break and help each other do it gracefully, smoothly, lovingly. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.